I'm Marcy Barron, and this is Mondays with Marcy. I'm your homeward bound guide to everything 5D living. I can't wait to share with you tips and tools to guide your personal transformation so that you can live a life that thrills you. Hello, and welcome to this week's Mondays with Marcy. I am Marcy Barron, your host, and this week we are talking about every symptom has a story. I got that download as I was driving. There was an old Rod Stewart song, Every Picture Tells a Story. And a big part of my work is helping people heal in the physical. So many people come to me with physical symptoms, things that, quote, have a label, a diagnosis. And one of my favorite films, a documentary called Heal, you can watch it. I think it's on Amazon Prime now. Is Deepak Chopra says you can believe the diagnosis, but not the prognosis. So your symptoms and any symptom that's showing up in your body is giving you a message. It's an invitation to dive deeper into your connection with your spiritual self, to surrender to the divine, and be in alignment to your most loving self for yourself and others. And there are two resources that I use primarily in my practice to help you understand what the emotional, energetic root to the symptoms are, or what, quote, you're experiencing. So it's You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. And there's a glossary in the back of the book that tells you the problem, the probable cause, and then the new thought pattern. And the other one I use is called Metaphysical Anatomy. Your Body is Talking. Are You Listening? And that's by Yvette Rose. So what does this mean? This means that all the aches, all the pains, all the discomfort, anything that you are experiencing in the physical body is communicating with you information, okay? So let's take a little deep dive. First of all, you want to notice on the body, in the body, where it's located. And each one can be correlated with your chakra. So for example, if you have painful periods, infertility, anything that goes on with your sexuality, your reproductive organs, male or female, that is a sacral chakra blockage. So sacral chakra has to do with emotions, pleasure, flow, all right? If you, let's say, having heartburn or heart issues, anything having to do with lungs, that is a heart chakra thing, okay? Anything in the head, headaches, pain, all of that is a third eye. Anything with the physical eye. So it's like, what are you not seeing? My daughter for a long time had swelling on her eyes and she wasn't seeing what she needed to see in her life. As soon as she saw it, she cleaned it up and the swelling went away. And that's the incredible thing about this. Once you see it, once you see the pattern and switch, change, transmute the belief around it, the energy around it, the stagnation around it, it's very often able to heal. Now, if this has been going on years and years and years and years, it could have a, very quick change and switch, or it might take a little bit more persistence. And so this is the work that I do with women, particularly in my practice. They come And I have a form that everyone fills out. Is like, what's your medical history? What's going on with your body? And again, I get the download. Every symptom tells a story. I can pick up on it. I use my reference books, and again, we move the energy around it. So, most recently, I have a client who has breast cancer, and breasts are about receiving nurturance, and cancer is that true blockage, that not being able to receive, that anger and repression around not being able to receive. And when I told her that, she literally burst into tears. She was like, oh my God, that resonates so much. So as we're clearing the energy, and I say the issues are in the tissues around the physical manifestation of dis-ease, which can become dis-ease, we then open to feeling better in body, mind, and spirit. And very often these symptoms go away. And that's a really cool thing. So these symptoms become the wake up call. These symptoms say, where am I not living in alignment? Where am I blocking the flow of energy through my body? And usually everyone is stuck in their mind based on the patterns of their trauma from their childhood. So I say trauma is big T, little t, and it's how the child interprets what happened to them. And again, not discounting what's happening, the pain of it, the emotionality of it, all of the things, to be able to frame, how is this happening for me to grow? Everything is an invitation for our liberation. Everything that we go through is, how can I become the most aligned version of myself so that I can be that unconditional love for myself and others? How can I be the bridge between heaven and earth? How can I be the human that I am, the divine being that I am, and live in alignment? And every symptom tells a story. So let's go into some of the most common symptoms, if you will, right? So if you have aches in your body, and aches as a general thing, it says it's longing for love. You're longing to be held. And Louise Hay says, I love and approve of myself. I am loving and lovable. And I always say to my clients too, just as like, take it with a grain of salt. Maybe it resonates, maybe it doesn't. Addictions, all addictions are running from the self, fear, not knowing how to love the self. So addictions live in the sacral chakra. They are a way for us to avoid feeling the feelings that we want to feel. So whether that's drinking, smoking, scrolling, gambling, shopping, we're running from the self. Okay, so addictions, according to Louise Hay, says her new thought pattern is, I now discover how wonderful I am. I choose to love and enjoy myself. Right? So that I'm just gonna like read off some common ones. Allergies. This is a very common one. People are like, oh, it's allergy season. And yes, pollen and ragweed and all of the things in the environment might have an effect. And it's, who are you allergic to? You're denying your power. The world is safe and friendly. I am safe. I am at peace with life. Right? Ankles are a very common problem that a lot of people experience. Ankles represent inflexibility and guilt. Ankles represent the ability to receive pleasure. So I deserve to rejoice in life. I accept all the pleasure life has to offer. All right. Anything that has to do with the anus, which is like that, it's the releasing point, it's the dumping ground. Right. And I know, you know, this is a part of the body where people have a lot of problems. And I easily and comfortably release that which I no longer need in life. So if you or know anyone, that have a lot of problems with that releasing point, that dumping ground, that energetic center of the anus, it's like people, as much as they want to let shit go, they're not letting the shit go. All right. Anxiety is such a common one. I'm going to be doing a whole podcast on anxiety very soon, but it's not trusting the flow and the process of life, right? Anxious people want to control, they're ruminating about the future, and they're not allowing themselves to feel what's underneath that anxiety. Anxiety typically sits on top of other emotions that people do not allow themselves to feel. So, what is the positive thought process for anxiety? I love and approve of myself, and I trust the process of life. I am safe. Okay. Anything that goes on in the arms is the ability to hold life's experiences. So, anytime you have anything with your arms, that is an invitation. How are you holding life's experiences? With pain, typically, with inflexibility. I lovingly hold and embrace my experiences with ease and with joy. All right. Asthma is about smother love, the inability to breathe for oneself, feeling stifled, suppressed, crying. So it's safe for me to now take charge of my own life. I choose to be free. So, what happens? This is a really good question I often get asked with babies and children. Um, and if a baby or a child, according to Louise Hay, has asthma, it's fear of life, not wanting to be here. This child is safe and loved. This child is welcomed and cherished, right? Because on the soul level, sometimes children, um, have a rough time coming in, being pure in light, in the light body. It's a big decision for the soul to come into this body to have these experiences. And some souls are like, yeah, I'm excited for the duality. I'm excited for the pain and the pleasure and the, just the consciousness of contrast, literally, the duality. And some come in kicking and screaming. All right. And again, so back problems, very much a common thing. Back in general represents the support of life. Lower is fear of money, lack of financial support. Middle back pain, guilt. And upper is the lack of emotional support, feeling unloved, holding back love. So again, your pain, your symptoms are an invitation for you to go deeper into your healing. All right. Bones represent the structure of the universe. So if you have problems with your bones, I'm well structured and I am balanced. This is a big one. Bladder problems. I have a lot of women that I work with that have UTIs. It is being pissed off. I comfortably and easily release the old and welcome the new in my life. I am safe. All right. And just, it's a really important practice to notice when you start to feel this discomfort. So let's say you're having a conversation, you feel real good, everything's fine, you're feeling happy and really in alignment. And then all of a sudden you have, a pain, like a tightening in your stomach or a cramp, or all of a sudden you're, in a place of, I don't know, I'm looking for one of these here. What if all of a sudden you start coughing? That's something I work with. A desire to bark at the world, see me, listen to me. And the healing affirmation is, I am noticed and appreciated in the most positive ways. I am loved. All right. So you can start to notice when and where and how these feelings, these sensations, these symptoms come up for you. All right. So these are just a few. I want to just see if there's anything. Depression is a common one. Anger you feel you do not have a right to have. It's a sense of hopelessness. So it's anger turned inward. And depression is, I now go beyond other people's fears and limitations. I create my life. So again, I really I really recommend all of these books that I mentioned in the beginning to help you just take a closer look. And if there's anything that you would like support in, please reach out to me through email. What I do, again, is work with people to dive deep into healing in the physical. The one thing that I'm going to say, too, is, and I just noticed this in my own life, so, how people talk about themselves, their health, and how they're feeling. So I am are the two most powerful words in the universe. And how you create your reality through your words is really important. So this was like a word choice with someone. It's like, I'm going to ruminate about that. And I'm like, wait, hold, clear, cancel, delete that. Do you mean contemplate? Because ruminate is like wringing the hands. It's literally like constantly going through the mental chatter. And again, we're all learning, we're all human, we all make mistakes with word choices. But again, the thing that I want to impress and impart upon you is that your words are energy. The words that you speak have an energetic frequency and imprint, and how you speak about yourself is so important. So if you say something, for example, like, you know, again, it's like, I am a big proponent of feeling your feelings. I am not about spiritual bypassing. You're not going to do affirmations at the expense of needing to get it out. Okay. I am not saying that. I am saying that when and if and how you have expressed all of your emotions, I'm a big fan of journaling. Get a pen and paper out, write it out. You might do stream of consciousness in your phone. Once you do that, then even you can say, like, I'm open to healing. I'm open to finding a solution for this. I am open to miracles. Even if you don't completely 100% feel that, the opening to it creates lots of possibilities to ripple out into the universe. So, for example, if you're having pain, and that's okay. You're just like, I'm honoring this pain. I'm open to what this pain is here to teach me. I am willing to receive support. I am open to see how the universe is going to support me in ways that are unexpected. Like, even if you don't believe it completely, if you can see that there might be a thread of hope, that there might be a little opening, that there might be something that is there to support you, that is beyond this physical body. The other thing I want to say is, so much of what we experience in the physical body has to do with what we are feeding ourselves. And feeding ourselves in terms of food. Are you eating non-inflammatory food, food filled with incredible healing properties that are live and vibrant and supportive. Um, a friend of mine just told me, she's like, oh, I need to get my Chobani, oat creamer. And my stomach just went, mm. It's like I know it was filled with processed crap. And I said to her, I was like, listen, to start your day with it's filled with like rapeseed oil, which is canola oil, all of these seed oils, canola oil, sunflower seed oil, vegetable oils, they're all found to cause inflammation, to cause you to be sick. Sugar in the morning, I mean, it's just, really unhealthy. And I just said, listen, this is what's in it. You have a choice to make. Maybe it's something that you can't give up, and maybe you can find an alternative for that. So, again, feeding your body physically things that aren't going to cause inflammation, that aren't going to cause this, your body to work really hard to process what's in there. So, what are you feeding your body? Again, healthy, vibrant, living um, food choices, organic, not processed, all of that. What are you feeding your body in terms of what you're consuming with social media content? Are you following accounts that bring fear? Are you following family members that just are triggering? Are you watching news? I say this all the time. My body is not meant for scary images, scary words, and scary music. I can't digest that. So I don't watch it. And people are like, oh, well, how do you find out what's happening? What's happening is being fed to us is a lot of propaganda. What's being fed to us is a lot of crap that we want to believe. I was in the supermarket and they're telling me, like, just like I need sunscreen, I now need to head to the pharmacy to go get shots and boosters and all of these things. And I'm just like, no, I really don't. Everyone makes a choice with that. Everyone can decide what's right for their body and be sovereign. I am not a fan of the whole medical apartheid that it is and was, and I don't even know if it's coming back in this country. Who knows? And at the end of the commercial, as I'm going to buy my produce, this message is brought to you, by Pfizer. And I'm just like, yeah, because it's all about money. Here's the thing, guys. The pharmaceutical companies want customers. That's the bottom line. Healthy people are not spending money on medicines. Healthcare is about sick care. So, an empowered person is somebody who's making sovereign choices for themselves. So, now I have a blood condition. I've spoken about this many times. It is the reason why my son, Benjamin, he was born at 20 weeks. I had developed severe preeclampsia. I literally my liver was failing, and they had to deliver my son or else I would have died. And he lived for 8 weeks in the NICU and then passed away. So I am on a blood thinner. Like, I have to be. That is it. I'm not saying like you can't be on medication. That's not my point here. But be discerning. There are people that are just on so much medication that the medication then has so many symptoms. And whether you're aware of it or not, many of the things that the quote government has been saying has been good for the population has caused a lot of other problems. So be discerning. See if you can use food, supplements, herbal remedies, homeopathic remedies. I do not go into pharmaceutical choices for my family and I very much. I really don't. When my kids were little, for myself, or even lately, it's like if you get a fever, are you taking all of these suppression, Advil, Tylenol, to take the fever away? So what's fever's point? Fever is raising your core body temperature to burn off whatever's happening, the infection, the virus, the bacteria, okay? If you're taking something to suppress that, you're suppressing your body's natural immune response to heal. And I remember before I knew all of this, I would give my little kids because, oh my God, a fever. And of course, you don't want to get it too high. You don't want to have a febrile seizure. You don't want to, feel so uncomfortable that you're really, really in so much pain. Like there's a thin line and there's a decision. It's not saying I don't ever use that. But I remember, you know, low fever, I would give it, and then they were playing and happy, and their bodies weren't resting and fighting it off. And then, as soon as the medicine wore off, there would be a rebound of the fever, and then they'd be even sicker, and it would take even longer. So again, it's a choice point. Um, and again, this is not medical advice. Please just know that as a disclaimer, this is not medical advice. And there are a lot of choices that you can heal all of these symptoms through a variety of modalities, energy healing being one of them, and the one that I use, holistically. So you get to the energetic root of it, you get to the emotional root of it. I told a story on a previous podcast. A woman came to me with adrenal fatigue, and she couldn't figure out what was going on. This was in the Ancestral Healing podcast. And she was doing all of the physical things, supplements. She had a great life. She had a meditation and gratitude practice. Money wasn't a problem. There was no, quote, reason why she should be in constant adrenal fatigue. She had inherited emotions from her ancestors: panic, horror, fear, terror. And I saw in my intuition that one of her relatives had been raped. So we cleared that. And what's interesting is she reached out to me after she heard that podcast, and she was like, oh my God, you were bang on about that. She said, had something new about that violation in some way. So hear and trust and go deeper. What are my symptoms trying to tell me? I have a digital course, Heal Your Spiritual Flu, and I take you really deep into the process of going into why and what your symptoms are trying to tell you. Again, this is not medical advice, but every symptom tells a story. Thank you. And if you think this will benefit someone, please forward it to someone. Thanks. See you next time. Bye. That's it for this week's episode of Mondays with Marcy. Be sure to subscribe to my newsletter at marcybaronclears.com. I also would love for you to follow me on your favorite podcasting app so that you don't miss a single episode. I'm Marcy Baron, and thanks for listening. I am so grateful you are here.